Our series of plays in 3rd grade is called The Flying Contest. And I'm very happy to introduce our characters, starting with our narrators. Narrator 1, played by James.
Yay!
Narrator 2, played by Marissa. Narrator 3, played by Aubrey. Narrator 4, played by Yasmin. And narrator 5, played by Kaden. And the lead character in this play is Josh, played by Cooper. All right. 3, 2, 1, action.
Are you sitting somewhere comfortable? We have a story to tell you. It's a folk story. If you know anything about folk stories, you'll know they usually have a moral.
A moral? What's a moral? It sounds like a small furry animal.
No, it's not a small furry animal. It's moral. A moral is a little like a lesson. It's a message hidden in a story. It's a message that teaches you something.
It's like the story of the 3 little pigs. That story has a lesson in it.
It does? Isn't it just a story about some silly little pigs that don't know how to build houses?
Well, that's the main point. But the moral was, as morals usually turn out to be, that hard work and good planning are the best ways to stay safe. Excuse me, can we get on with telling the story now? It's an African-American folk story, and it has a moral in it.
Sure, tell me the story, but how will I know which part is the moral?
Listen carefully. See if you can figure it out.
Okay, here we go. This folk story is called The Flying Contest.
Does it have any small furry animals in it?
Oh, hush! It has nothing to do with small furry animals.
One day, the birds of the air were arguing amongst themselves about which species could fly the highest. The big birds argued the most, especially Eagle.
Nobody listened to the small birds. Nobody even looked at Little Wren. She was one of the smallest birds of all.
Nobody thought a small bird could fly high.
To end the argument, the birds decided to have a contest. It would be in 2 weeks. They needed some time to make their wings strong.
Wren spent the 2 weeks trying to think of a plan. She wanted to win, but she knew she couldn't fly as high as Eagle. He had the strongest wings of all.
Of course she couldn't win. No bird can fly higher than an eagle. I know what a moral is. Don't take on anyone bigger than you are.
Wait a minute. We need to finish now. Where were we?
Well, Wren, being as wise and thoughtful little bird, knew she would have to use her brain instead of her wings to win, and strength to win.
The day of the contest finally came. All the birds flew into the air. They flew up higher and higher.
Wren flew as fast as she could. She tried to keep up with Eagle.
One by one, the birds became tired and began to drop back. Then, as they reached the clouds, Wren landed softly on Eagle's back.
Wren was as light as a feather. Eagle flew higher and higher. He laughed at the birds below him.
Fools! Eagle shouted, did you really think you could win? Did you think you could beat me?
The birds below were cheering. Eagle was certain that the roaring cheers were for him. He flew even harder, showing off how strong he was.
Eagle didn't know that the other birds had seen Wren land on his back.
Eagle. The other birds were all cheering for Wren, who is flying the highest. Eagle called as
Who was flying the highest? Eagle called as he flew above.
I am, said
a guess. Each time he asked, the little voice said, I am.
That's right. At last, Eagle was too tired to fly anymore. He got slowly back to the ground. Before he did, Wren hopped off his back and flew even higher.
Wren wasn't tired at all. She'd been riding on Eagle's back up at that point.
She flew higher and higher. Everyone else and all the birds cheered.
And that, of course, brings us to the end of our tale.
What? Is that it? So what's the moral?
The moral of the story is that brains can be better than strength.
Oh, that's kind of what I was thinking. But maybe the moral actually goes something like this. Tiny little animals can be smarter than we think.